Just to make sure.
Oh, you dropped. I thought you were joking. All right. Let's see here. Stand by. There we go. Why isn't this working? Let's see. Oh, it looks like we're going live. Let's see. There we go. All right. Give everybody a second here to load up. All right. Let's see. I hope this is working. Good morning, everyone. We are testing out some new technology here. So, Alex, if you can hear and see this, please send me a text and let me know that the volume is working, the microphones are working. We had some issues with the microphones yesterday. So
check one, check one. Me too, me too.
there we go. Okay, let's see if that worked there. Okay, everybody. So I am here with a gentleman. Yeah. Well, Craig, tell everybody on TikTok who you are and what you've done.
Yeah, my name's Craig Sawyer, and I started off in the Marine Corps in my professional life and went into the SEAL teams and then did 5 years of federal law enforcement. Ended up over in the war zones doing high threat mobile security for Department of State and our intelligence community. And then learned about child trafficking 10 years ago and how pervasive it is. And so I founded Veterans for Child Rescue, a nonprofit org to expose child trafficking and make war against those who are trafficking our children.
Excellent.
And so I brought a lot of high-level contacts of mine on our board of directors, board of advisors, operators that are friends of mine and teammates onto our org, and we start running sting operations and making documentaries.
Now, is these sting operations, are they here in the States?
Yeah, we will operate here in the United States because I realized it was some kind of sick joke sending operators and warriors around the world, 60 countries I'd been to around the world, only to find out that the worst predators are hunting our most precious and most innocent here, our children, here in the continental United States. And I'm never again deploying somewhere else to defend against a would-be or might-be enemy that may one day come here when Satan's enemies or Satan's allies, his legions are really operating directly against our children right now, right here. And I'm like, this is the battleground right now. It's like a sick joke to send the warriors away when the predators are right here in our homeland. So we operate here in the United States.
Now, what's the name of the organization?
Veterans for Child Rescue. V4CR is our organization.
Do you guys have a website?
Yeah, a big website, v4cr.org.
v4cr.org. Alex, if you could put that in the chat, that would be great.
Yeah, and our documentary is Contraland. It aired to 90 million households on Daystar Television Network in 2020. And we're making another documentary right now exposing a major religious institution that is utterly corrupted at the top and is involved
here in the States?
Here in the States. And so some very horrific child abuse, like satanic ritual abuse. And we've got over 200 witnesses and survivors of that abuse. And so we're going to be showing people what they wouldn't believe if you just tried to tell them.
Right, sure.
And
sometimes you got to show people, you can't
demonstrate
tell
the factual evidence, no matter how ugly, so that people understand this is a problem. This has to be changed. So
now, Craig, how did you get into this? Now, give us a little background on your military career, if you would.
Yeah, so I started off at SEAL Team 1. Well, I started off in the Marine Corps and transitioned over to the SEAL Team. Went to SEAL Team 1, became a sniper, and got combat action, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, decorated for my work there, and got picked up for DevGru, which they call SEAL Team 6. And so I spent the rest of my SEAL Team career operating at the highest level of counterterrorism.
Wow.
And then my wife, we started having babies.
Well, congratulations.
She did all the work.
I was going to say, come on, man, you're taking credit there.
I was just their moral support.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to be home more.
Sure.
As my parents were. I had a strong set of godly parents who raised me, and I wanted to be that way for my children. So I went into federal law enforcement where I could still serve my nation, but be home more than in the SEAL teams. I was gone 300 days a year at DevGru.
Holy smokes.
So I was volunteering for things I wanted to go, and that's what I was good at. But, raising children, you got to be home. So did that, ended up blowing the whistle on a high-level SES executive.
What is SES?
Senior Executive Service.
Okay.
And so he was from the FBI. He'd taken over our field office and was demoralizing and writing up my best agents in Las Vegas field office, the Air Marshal Service, for things they hadn't done.
Oh, wow.
So he was dirtying up their careers, and I didn't understand why he was doing it. And he's what people would call a deep state crook now.
Yeah.
I didn't understand deep state. Then I'd come from a SEAL team where everybody was pulling the sled as hard as they could for God and country, and I didn't understand this government corruption yet. So I reported him, and they did fire him for gross mismanagement and retaliation. He's the only SES level executive I'm aware of that's been fired like that, and it ticked a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And he was allowed to retaliate against me.
I was just going to say, did you have repercussions from that?
Oh yeah, and I expected it would be, but I did it in good faith.
Sure.
And my wife said she would support me in it.
Excellent.
And to her credit, she said, I'd rather live with you in a dumpster, being who you are, than in a palace if you become one of them.
Oh, God bless her. God bless her.
Yeah. So,
wow. Sounds like you got a good one there.
I don't know how. Well, I do know how.
Exactly.
God gave me that. And one of the funniest things I've ever been told by the Father in prayer was, she's the hippie you need.
Oh, my goodness.
The hippie I need. and it was a funny thing. And I went and told her, I said, God told me you're the hippie I need. She laughed. She goes, oh, I knew it. So I told you. And so whatever level of hippie Jesus has in him, it's more than I have in me.
Yeah, exactly. So SEAL team, it doesn't surprise me, Craig. She's
the hippie I need. Like, take a couple of raps off, son. Like,
yeah.
Like, sure. Be joyous. Like, just, and not that I'm not cutting up and funny and all that, but she's a
hippie. A little less serious maybe than you are.
She's a hippie that, yes.
Balance,
right? Everything.
Oh, balance. Of course. Now, so, Craig, people are asking in the chat, what was the website one more time, please?
The letter V as in Victor, the number 4, C as in Charlie, R as in Romeo. V4CR.org.
Okay, Alex, I hope you got that, and if you did, would you put it in the chat, please? All right, everybody at home, if you have any questions for Craig, we've only got him for a short time, but if you would, put it in the chat. And Alex, he did get it, v4cr.org, correct?
Yes,
okay, so we got it in the chat now.
So we run sting operations with federal and local law enforcement all across the country, and we catch child predators. We catch people coming to traffic the children, coming to abduct them, coming to rape them. We catch all
here
types.
In the U.S.
Yes, and we arrest everybody. I don't care who they are. So there are some law enforcement who won't arrest someone who's a sheriff's brother, or who's a mayor's son, or who is a high-level LDS elder. We will.
Yeah, good.
If you come for children, we're going to arrest you and prosecute you. We have a 100% conviction rate. We've got
how many people have you gotten a hold of?
32 arrests so far, 97 warrants.
Wow.
100% conviction rate.
Wow. Wow. Those are huge numbers.
We're careful with the cases that we prosecute, and they're righteous. And so it's 100% so far. And we plan to keep that going because we don't even call the predators in until we know we can put them in prison.
Wow.
So there's so many out there that are hunting the children, personally and online. So when they come for the children, we catch them.
Now, how do you have like a sting operation that you set up? I mean, how does that all work? If you can't,
we've got a template that we've devised through contacts and intelligence and trial and error.
Okay.
And it's evolving template. We don't share exactly how it works. It's essentially like fishing. Predators are out online looking for children to harm, and we give them that child to harm. We put a child out there in ways that they're attacking and trying to get to that child, and when they approach, or when they expose their private parts to these children online, and they say things to children online, those are crimes. You cannot do that. Mm-hmm. And eventually these predators will come to try to abduct or rape the child, and they get handcuffed and arrested instead.
Wow.
And they don't even have to come. Once you're committing the crimes against the child, you can have your doors kicked or be pulled over and traffic stop and arrest and go to prison then.
You mean after they're doing it online?
Yep.
You guys can go in and get them.
A lot of them think, if I don't actually go, I can kind of get off on just approaching the child and harassing the child and sexually abusing the child and trying to, interact with the child in a way that's very, very traumatizing for the child, and somehow get away with it. That's wrong.
Right.
You can't do that.
Of course.
It's a crime, as it should be.
Yeah.
And no matter what they do, as long as the DA's like, yep, that list of crimes is so egregious, this predator needs to be put in prison, then we pull the trigger on that operation.
So now, how long was your military career?
2 years in the Marine Corps, 13 years in the SEAL team, and then 5 years in federal law enforcement.
Wow.
And then 10 years of high threat mobile security over the war zones.
Okay, so when you ended your military career, about what year was that?
That was 99.
99. And then when you began this latest campaign, when did that start?
2008.
Oh, okay. So there was a few years in between.
Yeah.
And what brought you to the precipice, so to speak, to get into this movement and to make this happen?
There's a friend of mine from the CIA that had grown up in the area north of Houston, Texas, that I had. We were sitting, actually several of us from different agencies, catching up, smoking cigars.
Oh.
In a guy's backyard by the pool. He was an MI6 agent, a retired MI6 agent. Now he's a police chaplain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dear friend. And anyway, so guys from different agencies were just catching up, and the friend from the CIA said, Craig, this area just north of Houston has become the hottest epicenter of child sex trafficking in the United States. And
in Texas?
Yeah, in Texas.
I would have never
Harris
guessed.
County's horrible.
I would have never guessed that.
George Soros funds the campaigns of district attorneys with the agreements that they will not prosecute entire categories of harmful crimes, especially child trafficking.
Wow.
Because we're at the Horror of Babylon conference. George Soros represents the Horror of Babylon, the perversion and the system, the global system of perversion and corruption that ruins everything that works well, everything that's sacred and precious to us.
Right.
This Horror of Babylon network is operating against. It's Satan's global network.
Well, isn't that ultimately what they do?
Yeah.
It's division. It's going after the things that we cherish, whether it's black and white, whether it's men and women, whether it's gay and straight. It's always division. Separate the herd and take them down.
Yeah, divide and conquer tactics.
Exactly.
You could look at it kinetically from a law enforcement legal perspective, but if you investigate too far, you're not going to get that far before you realize this is a spiritual conflict. What even motivates millions of humans to traumatize and torture and horrify children who can do no wrong to anyone and don't even understand?
So this is where
that's not a normal or natural act.
That's exactly right. And people like that, I'm sorry, I don't think that there's any way to fix that. I think that we have a situation where they have to be dealt with in a very extreme manner. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a very popular opinion with some of the liberals, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
No,
they don't understand the nature of it. They don't appreciate the trauma to the child. They're ignoring that. They're ignorant of it and trying to pretend like that's not a real thing.
Right.
And we interview hundreds and hundreds of survivors of that satanic ritual abuse and other forms of trafficking and abuse. And I'm here to tell you, folks, it deeply traumatizes. It ruins their life. It changes how the victims perceive every relationship and every approach from then on. They can't help it.
Of course.
That deep trauma so shakes and rattles them. I live with two of them. My wife and my daughter were both abused. Our daughter was abducted as soon as I put in the paperwork to found Veterans for Child Rescue. Talk about a spiritual attack.
Oh my God!
She was abducted and severely traumatized at knife point repeatedly.
How old was she?
And she had just turned 18.
Oh my God!
And she had been been traumatized in I think it was late elementary school. It was a neighbor. She was at some neighbor's house around the block on the next street. Friends of ours. Their nephew was visiting from out of state, and Aspen, our daughter, was in the bathroom, and he went in there and locked the door behind him, and began to assault her. Well,
and where was everybody else in the home? Just not
distant
there.
Or at the store or whatever.
Wow.
And so what I understood was that she had screamed and pitched, a huge fit, and got out of there, and we were celebrating. Hey, great job! You fought and raised hell, which you should have.
Yeah.
That a girl, that's the way to do it. Well, years and years later, she confided, it went further than just an attempt.
Oh
so children aren't always good at articulating what happened. So we were just
plus the trauma of what they're going through.
Champion, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Way to fight back. Way to stop it. Well, later she's like, well, it went further in that. So that deeply shook her. So multiple times. Anyway, I'm here to tell you, if you think that mercy on predators is somehow good,
No way.
it's not. It's counterproductive. It's negligence. It's gross negligence to allow to go soft on predators. It just is.
Craig, there's been a couple of questions in here. First of all, Chris Romano, many blessings to you, sir, for your dedication to saving our children. We have, and the reason I'm doing it this way, Craig, I can't read that flipping screen, so it's part of my age.
For me too.
Forget about it. So I'm doing it over here. Okay,
No,
good. All right.
good.
I didn't want you to think, but yeah.
So vision doesn't last for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Sten Senior said, "You're doing God's work, sir. Thank you." Now,
and you know what? It's humbling when you get in this fight.
Yeah.
At first, because I had this big pedigree, I've been to 60 countries around the world, a bunch of different agencies, and I've got to do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I was praying, Father, I'm your boy. Like, I'm your operator.
Right.
Like, I've got all this stuff.
Put me in, coach.
And I'm gonna crush it for you.
Yeah.
And how can I serve you? And it's like, I don't need all that.
Yeah.
I just need your humility. I need your
willingness,
obedience, and a humble heart.
Yeah.
That's it.
Excellent.
And I'm like, okay. And okay, then what can I do? He's like, humble yourself. And I'm like, okay. No, humble yourself. I'm like, okay. Humble yourself. So there's been a series of this, and I've got other friends and allies that he's doing this with too. That's what he needs from us, folks, so much. I thought I was humble, and in deep prayer, I'm learning. No, he wants there more, and it's like once you completely give up and you kneel everything and lay it at his feet, he's like, now I can work through you. Because it's not about you anymore.
Right.
It's about him. And everybody learning and knowing that he is God,
right.
that he wants the children spared
of course.
and rescued.
Of course.
He wants the good work done. So in that space, when we serve in that humility, that's when he can really move.
Right.
And my daughter, who was raped, has become our most fierce predator hunter.
Wow.
So isn't that like the father? He's got this SEAL Team 6 decorated warrior that's got all these scars and injuries and been everywhere and done quite a bit. He's using the daughter to go after the predators because through her, people can realize it's the father doing the work. It's not some operator. He does not some veteran of law enforcement or military. It's a little girl who the father loves.
Right.
And is moving through.
Right.
Brother.
100%. 100%.
That's the journey when we're all warriors are just hugging and praying together going, yes, my king, this is so beautiful the way that you do it.
Cece wants to know, how can we help? How can the audience help? Is it go to your website? What is there donations they can make? What can they get involved?
This is ultimately a spiritual conflict between the forces of good and evil. Satan is making war on the children because he perceives them as being the most high value target to harm the father who loves them. They're the most precious and the most innocent. So Satan is defiling them in unspeakable ways. He's motivating wicked and weak humans to do that to them in an effort to, as an upyears to the father. But it's doomed. It's going to be short-lived because I believe now's the time when everybody's supposed to know. So realize this is a spiritual conflict ultimately, and prayer, Americans do not on the whole comprehend prayer to the level of power that it has in the spirit realm. Those that have had near-death experiences or visions from the Father, they've seen what prayer looks like and how powerful it is. But I would say pray individually, but prayer corporately. If you can network on it, do that first. Also, on our website, V4CR, we have a list of tools and options of how you can choose what's right for you. When the Father tells you what he wants you to do, here's some things to help you get started, some intel and different tools on how to get involved politically or with your local church or with nonprofit orgs or even with our org and just offering what it is that you have. So there's a lot of ways there that we have for people to find on how to get involved. So please do something. You will be blessed in it. My mother always told me you can't outgive God. And I've
Very
learned
true.
that, I've exercised that to be true. The more I try to give in this fight, the more he blesses me. And all my operator buddies and teammates are finding the same thing. They're trying to just humble themselves and give, and God just blesses them back for it. So
Excellent. Excellent.
just
Give
realize you're
everybody
not going to
the website one more time.
v4cr.org,
Yeah.
or vets4childrescue.org. It's also work.
And Alex, if you would put that in the chat again, everybody go to that website, sign up, get involved, do whatever you can. It's people like this, people like Craig, who are taking a stand and saying enough. And we need to support them any possible way we can. Greg, thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for your service to the children. My heart is with you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for putting the word out and giving further reach to it, so we can spare more children.
Absolutely. And I want to get your number before you leave, so we can keep in. I want to bring you on the regular show that I have, if you're open to it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody, we're going to sign off for now. We'll be back in a little while with another guest here at the Rev 17 conference. Craig, thank you again, man.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we'll see you in a little bit.